In 300 BC, in the city of Cyprus, there lived a wealthy trader named Zeno. His life was filled with success, and he had built his fortune through years of hard work. But one day, during a voyage from Phoenicia to Piraeus, his ship sank, taking all his cargo and wealth with it. In a single moment, Zeno went from being one of the richest men in the region to having nothing. Now, imagine yourself in Zeno's shoes. Everything you've worked for is gone in an instant. How would you react? Would you feel anger, frustration, or perhaps a sense of betrayal by fate? These reactions would be completely understandable. But what if I told you that this devastating moment wasn't the end for Zeno? It was actually the beginning of something far greater. Instead of being defeated by his loss, Zeno used it as a turning point. He began studying the works of Socrates and other philosophers, and out of his hardship, he developed the philosophy of Stoicism. This ancient wisdom teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond, and that's where our true power lies. Think about it. What if one mindset shift could transform not only how you handle a single challenge, but the entire course of your life? This is the heart of Stoicism, a philosophy built on acceptance, inner calm, and the ability to see every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. Now, let's take a closer look at the key lessons Stoicism teaches. Each lesson provides practical guidance for handling the challenges we all face in life, starting with one of the most important, the power of acceptance. The core of Stoicism lies in the practice of accepting the world as it is, without resistance or complaint. Zeno's shipwreck wasn't just the loss of physical wealth, it was an opportunity for transformation. He didn't waste time grieving his misfortune. Instead, he chose to embrace the valuable lesson hidden within the disaster. This approach allowed him to find wisdom and inner strength amidst adversity. Today, we can apply the same principle to our lives. While we may not lose a ship full of cargo, we all face our own storms, whether it's the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or an unexpected challenge. Stoicism teaches us that by accepting what has happened and refocusing on what is within our control, we can regain our equilibrium. However, it's crucial to understand that acceptance is not the same as passive resignation. Acceptance is an active, deliberate decision to respond wisely to life's challenges. When we embrace reality without futile resistance, we free up the energy that would otherwise be wasted on anger or frustration. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every obstacle, if reframed, becomes an opportunity for growth. What if losing a job becomes the catalyst for discovering a new path? What if a relationship ending teaches you to love yourself more deeply? By accepting life's uncertainties and setbacks with composure, we shift our perspective, finding strength and wisdom where others might only see defeat. Lesson 2. Redefining strength and emotions. A common misconception about Stoicism is that it advocates for the absence of emotion, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Stoicism doesn't ask us to be devoid of feeling. It asks us to master our emotions so that they don't control us. The philosophy is about developing inner strength, finding composure in the midst of chaos, and ensuring that our emotional responses serve us rather than hinder us. True strength, according to the Stoics, is not in suppressing our emotions, but in understanding and channeling them in a constructive way. Emotions are natural and essential parts of the human experience. Stoicism teaches that we shouldn't deny them. Instead, we should seek to understand their origins. Take anger, for example. Rather than ignoring or bottling it up, Stoicism invites us to explore why we're feeling angry. Is it because we expected something different from reality? Did we set an unrealistic expectation that wasn't met? By questioning the root cause of our emotions, we gain insight into our reactions and can begin to distance ourselves from their control. This process of introspection is what allows us to prevent our emotions from overtaking us. Instead of being consumed by anger, sadness, or fear, we observe these feelings, learn from them, and then choose our response. This is the essence of emotional mastery, not becoming numb, but becoming wise in how we react. As a result, Stoicism helps us build resilience, turning moments of emotional turbulence into opportunities for self-awareness and growth. In today's fast-paced and often stressful world, this lesson is particularly powerful, reminding us that strength is found not in avoiding emotions, but in understanding and mastering them. Lesson 3. Stoicism in Action, the Wisdom of the Ancients. Zeno's teachings have inspired many people throughout history, including some of the greatest philosophers. Take Epictetus, for example. He was born a slave, but instead of being crushed by his difficult life, he became a great philosopher. Epictetus taught that no matter what happens to us, we can always control our thoughts and mindset. This idea is powerful. It reminds us that even when life feels out of control, our minds are still our own, and we have the power to choose how we respond. Seneca, another well-known Stoic, was a wealthy and successful statesman, but he always wrote about how money and material things are temporary and don't bring lasting happiness. He believed that true peace comes from within, not from the things we own. In today's world, where many people think happiness comes from buying things or gaining success, Seneca's message is a good reminder to focus on what really matters, our inner peace. Then there's Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled during difficult times with wars and plagues. Even with all that pressure, he stayed true to his Stoic beliefs. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about how we should focus on what we can control, our actions and thoughts, while accepting the things we can't change. This helped him stay calm and strong, even during tough times. If these historical figures could stay resilient and find peace in their challenging lives, we can learn from them too. Their examples show us that no matter what challenges we face today, we can achieve more with the right mindset, focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. Lesson 4. Voluntary Discomfort and Gratitude. One of the practical exercises in Stoicism is called voluntary discomfort, where we intentionally put ourselves in uncomfortable situations to build mental strength and appreciation for what we have. For example, you might choose to sleep on the floor for a night, take a cold shower, or skip a meal. These actions may seem small, but they serve a deeper purpose. By exposing ourselves to discomfort on purpose, we remind ourselves that we are capable of enduring more than we think. This practice makes us more resilient when life throws real challenges our way. When you voluntarily experience discomfort, you also become more grateful for the simple comforts you usually take for granted: a warm bed, a hot shower, or regular meals. In a world that constantly encourages us to buy more and accumulate material things, Stoicism teaches that happiness doesn't come from having more possessions. Voluntary discomfort helps us detach from the need for constant comfort and luxury, showing us that we don't need those things to be content. It's a powerful way to reset our mindset and shift our focus away from material dependence. By practicing discomfort, we strengthen our ability to face difficult situations with calm and gratitude, knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. This simple exercise not only builds resilience, but also fosters a deeper appreciation for what we already have. Lesson 5. Stoic Teachings and Modern-Day Mindset Shifts. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded by messages telling us that happiness comes from material success, social status, or physical appearance. Social media makes it easy to compare ourselves to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy when we don't measure up. The pressure to live up to these external standards can feel overwhelming. However, Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from what we have or how others see us. It's about shifting our focus to what truly matters, our values, integrity, and inner peace. By embracing Stoic teachings, we can break free from the trap of constantly seeking approval and validation from the outside world. Instead of chasing possessions or status, we can focus on living a life guided by our inner principles. This mindset shift helps us realize that external things are often out of our control, and it's our inner state that really defines our well-being. Take, for example, a situation where you've worked hard for a promotion, but someone else gets it. It's easy to feel disappointed and view it as a personal failure. The Stoic approach, however, would be to recognize that the outcome, the decision to promote someone else, was beyond your control. What you can control is your effort and how you respond to the disappointment. If you did your best, that's what truly matters. The outcome is just noise, and it doesn't define your worth or success. By focusing on what's within our control, our actions, attitudes, and responses, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to live up to external standards. This shift in mindset allows us to find contentment and peace even when life doesn't go as planned. Lesson 6. The Dichotomy of Control. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which means learning to understand the difference between what we can control and what we can't. As Epictetus said, the chief task in life is to distinguish between what is in our control and what is not. When we truly understand this, we stop wasting energy on things that are out of our hands, like other people's opinions, the actions of others, or events we can't change. Instead, we focus on what we can control, our actions, attitudes, and choices. For example, think about when you worry about what others think of you. No matter how much you want to, you can't control their thoughts. But what you can control is how you behave and how you feel about yourself. By focusing on your own choices and responses, you'll feel more empowered and less stressed. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and late for an important meeting. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. You could get angry and stressed, or you could use that time to calm down, accept the situation, and prepare mentally for the meeting. This shift in focus, from what's out of your control to what you can control, can make a big difference in how peaceful and calm you feel. By understanding this principle, life becomes simpler. You stop trying to change things you can't control, and instead you focus on what you can, your own actions and mindset. This shift brings more peace and helps you handle challenges with greater calm and confidence. Lesson 7. Seneca and the Art of Time Management. Seneca's timeless wisdom reminds us that it's not the length of life that matters, but how we use the time we have. He famously said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This Stoic teaching emphasizes that time is our most valuable resource, and once it's gone, we can't get it back. Seneca urged people to prioritize what truly matters and avoid wasting time on things that don't add value to our lives. In today's world, this lesson is more important than ever. We're constantly surrounded by distractions, social media, endless entertainment options, and non-stop news. These distractions can easily consume hours of our day without us even realizing it. Stoicism teaches us to guard our time as fiercely as we would guard our most precious possessions. By learning to say no to distractions and focusing on activities that nourish our minds, improve our work, or strengthen our relationships, we make better use of our time. Imagine how much more you could accomplish if you eliminated even just a few distractions each day. What if, Instead of scrolling through social media for 30 minutes, you used that time to read, learn something new, or connect with someone important to you. By mastering the art of time management, you can create more space in your life for things that bring real growth and meaning. Seneca's lesson is clear. Use your time wisely because it is finite. Each moment wasted on trivial things is a moment you could have spent on something truly fulfilling. When you focus on what matters most, you'll find that your days feel richer, your mind clearer, and your life more purposeful. Lesson 8. Epictetus and the Lesson of Freedom. Epictetus, who was born into slavery, offered a powerful perspective on the true meaning of freedom. Despite his physical condition, he believed that real freedom doesn't come from external circumstances like wealth, status, or even physical liberty. It comes from within. According to Epictetus, no man is free who is not master of himself. This means that freedom is found in our ability to control our own minds, regardless of what's happening around us. This lesson reminds us that external factors, like our job, financial situation, or social standing, are secondary when it comes to our sense of freedom. True freedom comes from our inner state, specifically our ability to choose how we respond to any situation. Even in the face of hardships, we have the power to remain mentally and emotionally free by focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, reactions, and actions. For example, if we face a setback or a challenge beyond our control, such as losing a job or facing an illness, we still have the freedom to choose how we handle it. Do we let it overwhelm us, or do we stay calm, adjust our mindset, and take positive action? By mastering our inner world, we become less dependent on external circumstances for our sense of peace and happiness. Epictetus teaches us that even when life is difficult, we can maintain our inner freedom by focusing on what's within our control: our thoughts, attitudes, and choices. This inner freedom allows us to face any situation with strength and resilience, no matter how tough life may seem on the outside. Lesson 9. Musonius Rufus and the Power of Education. Musonius Rufus, who was the teacher of Epictetus, believed something very bold for his time: that education should be available to everyone, including women. This was a radical idea in a society where only certain people, usually men of high status, had access to learning. Musonius believed that everyone, no matter their gender or social status, deserved the chance to learn philosophy and pursue virtue, which means living a good and moral life. Today, we can apply Musonius's idea by recognizing that learning and self-improvement should never stop. In our world, where information is more accessible than ever thanks to the internet, we can continue to learn throughout our entire lives. Education isn't just about going to school, it's also about personal growth, reading, reflecting on our experiences, and challenging ourselves to be better. Musonius's lesson is a reminder that learning isn't just about gathering knowledge. It's about becoming better people. When we focus on growing our minds and hearts, whether through philosophy, self-help books, or learning new skills, we improve our ability to be patient, kind, and strong. In today's fast-moving world, making time for personal growth helps us live more meaningful lives. Just like Musonius believed education should be for everyone, we too should embrace every opportunity to keep learning and growing throughout our lives. Lesson 10. The Serenity of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoics, was the Roman emperor during very tough times, plagues, wars, and political problems. Even though he faced many challenges, he stayed calm and kept his inner peace. His book, Meditations, is full of advice on how to remain peaceful even when everything around you seems chaotic. One of his most important lessons is to focus on what you can control, your thoughts and actions, instead of getting upset by things happening outside of you. This lesson is very helpful today. With constant news, stressful events, and everyday challenges, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that, no matter how crazy the world seems, we can always find peace within ourselves by focusing on what we control. For example, we can't stop bad news or avoid a difficult day at work, but we can choose how we react. Instead of getting stressed or angry, we can stay calm, take a deep breath, and focus on what we can do in the moment. By practicing this approach, we protect our peace of mind, even when things outside of us are hard. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that, while we can't control everything, we can always control how we respond, and that's where our true power lies. This simple mindset can help us feel more balanced and peaceful, no matter what life throws our way. Lesson 11. Cato the Younger and Moral Integrity. Cato the Younger was a Roman politician known for never giving up on his beliefs, even when it cost him everything, including his life. He refused to change his values or give in to pressure, even from powerful leaders like Julius Caesar. Cato stood strong in his principles, showing us the importance of staying true to what we believe is right, no matter the situation. Cato's lesson is simple: always stick to your values, even when it's hard. In today's world, this means not giving in to the pressure to follow the crowd or take the easy way out for quick rewards. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or in daily decisions, Stoicism teaches us that true peace comes from knowing we've stayed true to our beliefs, no matter what others are doing. For example, if you're at work and others are being dishonest or cutting corners to get ahead, it might be tempting to join them. But Cato's example encourages us to resist that temptation and do the right thing, even if it means facing challenges or missing out on something. The feeling of knowing you stayed true to yourself brings a sense of peace and self-respect that is more valuable than any short-term gain. Cato reminds us that while it's not always easy to stand by our principles, the long-term reward of living with integrity is far more meaningful than any short-term success. Staying true to your values helps you build strength and inner peace. Lesson 12. The Art of Letting Go. The Stoics taught that everything in life is temporary. Epictetus reminded his students that even life itself doesn't last forever, so we should be ready to let go of anything, even the people we love, with grace. This might sound harsh, but it's not about being uncaring. Instead, it's about appreciating what we have while it's here and being strong enough to handle loss when it happens. In today's world, where things are always changing, this lesson is especially important. Whether it's a job that didn't work out, a relationship that ended, or any kind of personal loss, life is full of moments where we need to let go. The Stoics teach us that instead of holding tightly to things we can't keep or control, we should learn to accept and release them. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring the pain of loss. It means understanding that loss is a natural part of life and learning how to move forward. When a relationship ends or a project fails, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can learn and how we can grow from the experience. By practicing letting go, we become stronger, more resilient, and better at handling the changes that life throws at us. This approach helps us face life's changes with calmness and strength. Instead of being overwhelmed by what we lose, we learn to appreciate what we have while it lasts and continue to grow and move forward. At the end of the day, Stoicism prepares us for life and its inevitable end. As Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." By living with intention, placing value on what we can control, and embracing each moment, we can steer through the storms of life with calmness and clarity. And if the ship sinks, we can rest in the knowledge that we lived well, no matter how short the journey.